Jai Gurudev. Dr. Mara, are you able to take on today? You have to unmute yourself.
Give me like 5 minutes, maybe I'll be ready.
No problem.
Is that okay? If you do
No problem.
prayer, and I'll be there.
No problem. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Please wait on till Dr. Mara is able to share screen and start reading.
Anybody can share the screen for a little bit because my computer is out of power. So the computer. Let me see. I'll share. Mm. Fine. Yesterday we saw the sloka number 22, right? Vasanti
23.
jirnani yata vihaya navani Vihnati naro parani tata sarirani nihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. And then we followed for this nainam chintati sastrani nainam dahati pavakaha na chainam kledayanti apo na soshayati marutaha. 23, right? Mhm. Mhm. she, she was reading about. Mhm. So trying to see I can screen this out. சாப்பிடுங்க வித்யா வந்தான் வித்யா வந்தான்னா சாம்பார் கொஞ்சம் காரமா இருக்கா அவளுக்கு வேணுங்கிறத எடுத்துட்டு போக சொல்லுங்க வச்சோம்னா நீங்க உங்களுக்கு வேணுங்கிறத சாப்பிட்டுக்கோங்க. Since time change, our dinner time usually around 6 o'clock, and so we have to do that. Okay, so we are doing the sloka number 23, right?
Yes, Hari Om, Dr. Mara.
Yes.
Shloka number 23, I think
You
streets are
finished
there.
it? 23 is Nainam Chintati Sastrani, right? That's the one you
Yes, yes. Yeah, are
did.
you okay to read, Dr. Mara?
Yeah, I'm fine. I know I'm getting a little
No,
bit.
I can, otherwise I can do now. Just let me know if you need any.
Yeah, you started. I'm just trying to log in my computer. I'm just connecting it. So um, it's fine. I can read it. It's fine. No problem. So you want to read the sloka? I kind of lost this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Nainam Chindanti Shastra. नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुतः.
Sastrani, weapons. Enam, this, na chintanti, do not cut. Pavakaha, fire. Enam, this, na dahati, does not burn. Apa, waters. Enam, this, na kledayanti, do not wet. Marutaha cha, and the wind, na soshyati, does not dry. Weapons do not cut this self, nor does fire burn it. Water does not wet or drown it, and wind does not dry it. In verse 16 and again in verse 20, Krishna said that for the self, that is real, which is real, Sat, there is no absence. There is no absence. It is not subject to negation. Not subject to negation. In any of the three periods of time, abaditam satyam. Abaditam satyam. This statement is this statement cannot be shaken because that which is not subject to negation. I think your screen, I can't see. Can you scroll up a little bit? Yeah. Oh, you went to the next page. Yeah, cannot be negated, and truth, Satya, is not subject to negation. You yourself are this truth. Okay. You yourself this truth. If you have any doubt, try to negate yourself. The very person doing the negation is the one you are trying to negate. You find, therefore, that it is impossible to negate yourself. Anything that is negatable is not Satya. Anything that is negatable is not Satya. Therefore, the one who goes on negating is Satya, the only one who cannot be negated. Everything else is subject to dismissal. So let me join. Dr. Kavita.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have
Thank
yeah, I'll share the screen. If you go out, I'll just do it. Thank you. Okay, you can see the screen, guys. Okay, got it. Oh, okay, here we are. If you have any doubt, try to negate yourself. The very person doing the negation is the one you are trying to negate. You find, therefore, that it is impossible to negate yourself. Anything that is negatable is not Satya. Therefore, the one who goes on negating is Satya, the only one who cannot be negated. Everything else is subject to dismissal. That which is not subject to negation can only be the Atma, the self. Thus, there is no absence, abhava, for the Atma. Okay, there is no absence, abhava, for the Atma. Only that which is subject to time can be Asat. That which is not subject to time is Sat. Sat cannot be dismissed because dismissal implies prior existence and posterior non-existent. Dismissal implies prior existence, posterior non-existence. both of which are in terms of time alone, past, present, and future. That which is not subject to time and for which time itself is a dismissible object is called Satya, Atma. This then is Krishna's constant refrain. This then is Krishna's constant refrain. Just as one gives up old clothes and takes on new ones, the one who dwells in this body, Deha, which gives it up and assumes another body. So, just as one gives up old clothes and takes on new ones, the one who dwells in this body, Deha, gives it up and assumes another body. Neither the Jiva nor Atma is subject to negation. The Jiva and Atma being one and the same. What can be negated, however, is the notion that I am limited, the Jivatva. The essence or Swarupa of the Jiva cannot be negated. Only the notion that I am a Jiva can be negated. The same point was also made by Krishna in another form when he said that the Atma is not an object for any act of destruction. Nayam hamti na hanyate. Gita, verse number 19. It is neither the performer of an action nor the object of anyone's action. In other words, Atma is not subject to negation because it is not subject to destruction. No action can destroy it. So I think we read until this point yesterday, right? So I'll continue on. Atma is indestructible. In the present verse, Krishna mentioned a few methods of destruction, none of which affects the Atma. At first, he talks of weapons which cannot destroy the Atma. Later, he enumerates the elements that can bring about destruction. Generally, weapons are of two types. Those weapons that are released from one's hand, like a rock, a bullet, or an arrow, are called as astras. Those held in hand, like a stick, hammer, or sword, are called sastras. That's what they say, astra, sastra. Okay. Sastras. Or here in the word sastra implies both types of weapons. So the rock, bullet, and arrow, and the stick, hammer, or sword. Mhm. With reference to weapons, then the Atma does not subject itself to any type of objectification. This is so because the Atma objectifies everything. Really, I'm in a class. Can I call you back? Huh? Okay. With reference to weapons, then the Atma does not subject itself to any type of objectification. This is so because the Atma objectifies everything. That which objectifies everything cannot be objectified by anything. The Atma yourself objectifies the whole world. The Atma yourself objectifies the whole world. The world does not reveal itself to you unless you objectify it. And the Atma cannot be objectified by anything. So, what is objectified is not going to objectify the objectifier. because everything else shines after Atma. There is only one source of consciousness, and that is Atma, you. Everything else is object of consciousness. There is only one source of consciousness, and that is Atma, you. Everything else is object of consciousness. How then is the object of, or then is an object of consciousness going to destroy consciousness? Consciousness has no particular form. If it had a heart, it could have an attack, but it does not. If it does, we have had it. The Atma is the one because of which we are aware of the beating of the heart. It is the subject of every object because the Atma is not subject to objectification. Because the Atma is not subject to objectification, it is not subject to any type of action, including destruction. Thus, the weapon do not slay this Atma. Fire also cannot destroy the Atma. Nayenam dahati pavakaha. It can burn the body, but it cannot burn the Atma. Fire cannot even destroy the subtle body, Sukshma Sarira, let alone the Atma. Similarly, water cannot even wet the Atma, let alone drown it. Apaha enam na kladdayanti. Because it does not become an object that is subject to drowning, nor can the wind dry it up. Nayenam chochayati, sochayati, marutaha, meaning that Atma cannot be dehydrated. Thus, Krishna brings out all the elements, earth, Prithvi, implied by the weapons and the metals with which they are made, does not destroy the Atma, nor do fire, water, and air. Air, Vayu, does not bring about death of the Atma through dehydration. The word Maruta refers to the hot air of the tropical country, which can cause dehydration. There are 3 pages to do. So did you get that point? Like I think I will read this one paragraph because I couldn't make out the subjectification that much. Anyone wants to read anything else? Okay. I'll just read this one paragraph and we'll move on to the next one. What is objectified is not going to objectify the objectifier. Because everything else shines after Atma. There is only one source of consciousness, that is Atma, you. Everything else is an object of consciousness. How then is the object of consciousness going to destroy consciousness? Consciousness has no particular form. If it had a heart, it could have an attack, but it does not. If it does, we have had it. The Atma is the one because of which we are aware of the beating of the heart. It is the subject of every object. Because the Atma is not subject to objectification, it is not subject to any type of action, including destruction. Thus, weapons do not slay this Atma. So, we initially seeing how Atma is not going to be slayed by anything. And then how fire and all the 5 elements can destroy or not destroy, cannot destroy the Atma. Five-element model of the world. Throughout the Shastra, we find a particular model that presents the world as made up of five elements: space, akasha, air, vayu, fire, agni, water. Apaha and space, akasha, air, vayu, fire, agni, water, apaha, and earth, prithvi. In their subtle and gross form, these elements account for everything that is here. The subtle elements account for the mind, senses, and so on, and the gross elements account for the physical body and the physical world. Your physical body comprises of five gross elements. It occupies space, akasha. It contains air, vayu, oxygen being present wherever there is blood. The body has temperature or heat, agni, and its shape is due to the water. Apaha. It has a part of its composition. Finally, the body contains the same minerals that are found in the earth, prithvi, calcium, carbon, magnesium, and so on. So, the physical universe can be defined in many ways. This elemental model is simply for understanding. So, the elemental model is simply for understanding. Each element's bhutas enjoys the same degree of reality because they are all elements. Whatever the nature of reality is, Akasha has a certain degree of that reality. The same degree of reality is also enjoyed by the other four elements: Vayu, Agni, Apaha, and Prithvi. So I'll read this paragraph again. The physical universe can be defined in many ways. This elemental model is simply for understanding. Each of the elements, that is the Panchabhutas, right? The Bhutas enjoys the same degree of reality because they are all elements. Whatever the nature of the reality is, Akasha has certain degree of that reality. The same degree of reality is also enjoyed by the other four elements: Vayu, Agni, Apaha, and Prithvi. So they all of them have same amount of reality. Only objects belonging to the same degree of reality can affect each other. So only objects belonging to the same degree of reality can affect each other. For example, one physical body can definitely destroy another physical body. Similarly, a body and a weapon, both physical objects, belong to the same degree of reality. Therefore, the weapon can hit the body and injure or destroy it. Suppose, however, you want to destroy a tree with the shadow of another tree. It is impossible. Nor can you hit a dog with the shadow of a rock. This is because the object and the shadow belong to two different orders of reality and are therefore incapable of destroying each other. If one is to affect the other, both must enjoy the same degree of reality. So, this is the five-element model of the world. So, the nature of destruction. Objects belonging to the same order of reality need not affect each other also. Space, for example, belongs to the same order of reality as the other four elements, but is not affected or destroyed by any of them. Air cannot dehydrate space, fire cannot burn it, water cannot drown it, nor can you take a sword in hand and destroy space. Space cannot be destroyed by bombing it, much less with a pistol. It cannot be even be polluted. There is no such thing as a space pollution. Only the atmosphere is polluted. The other four elements cannot destroy space because space has no form. Air, on the other hand, can be destroyed in the sense that one form can be changed into another. Air implies atoms, and atoms imply a structure which can always be changed into a new structure. So again, air implies atoms, atoms imply a structure which can always be changed into a new structure. If hydrogen and oxygen are brought together in a certain way, water is created. Any structure is always available for change. It can become entirely different. One metal can be converted into another metal simply by changing its atomic weight. A base metal can be changed into gold in this way, although it is not economically feasible to do. The word death applies to a particular structure that no longer exists. So the death applies to a particular structure that no longer exists because it has been changed in some way. Shankara argues that anything that has limbs, attributes, or structure can be destroyed. Space having none of these cannot be destroyed, even by other elements that share the same order of reality. So, out of the five elements, space is not destroyed because it cannot be destroyed because it has no form. The Atma is also free from limbs, attributes, or structure. So the Atma is also free from limbs, attributes, or structure. It is pure consciousness. I am aware of everything, including my thoughts. I am aware of everything, including my thoughts, which objectify this entire world. Therefore, this consciousness, Atma, cannot be destroyed by any weapon or any other instrument of destruction because it is not available for objectification. Nothing can get at this Atma. Furthermore, nothing else belongs to the same order of reality. The self-evident Atma. The Atma is Satya. Atma alone is self-evident and everything else is evident to it. Okay, Atma is Satya. Atma alone is self-evident and everything else is evident to it. Atma is self-shining and everything else shines after the Atma. One that shines of its own accord is Atma. It requires no evidence for its existence. It requires no evidence for its existence. What is self-evident is self-existent, depending on nothing for its existence. Whereas what is not self-evident is not self-existent and depends entirely upon that which is self-existent. In this way, any given object depends upon another object. A clay pot depends upon clay, which is nothing but mud, and the mud is nothing but atoms. Atoms depends on particles, and so on. Thus, everything depends on something else, and that something else depends upon your concept, which depends upon consciousness. Consciousness alone depends on nothing. So I'll read this paragraph again. In this way, any given object depends upon another object A clay pot depends upon clay, which is nothing but mud. Mud is nothing but atoms. Atoms depend on particles and so on. Thus, everything depends upon something else, and that something else depends upon your concept, which depends upon consciousness. Consciousness alone depends on nothing. Therefore, everything shines after this self evident, self existent Atma. Naturally, then, the whole creation, the whole world is equal to Asat only. When everything is Asat and Atma alone is Sat, how can the Sat be destroyed by Asat? Air, fire, water, and earth exist because of Atma. Because Atma is Sat and the elements are Asat, they are incapable of destroying the Atma. Again, it's not same order of reality. Reflection cannot come out of the mirror to tease and destroy you any more than your own shadow can. If your reflection looks ferocious and frowning, that is only because you look so. There is no need to become anxious because your reflection is frowning and looks as though it is going to destroy you. If you run away from it and it comes chasing after you, any chasing that is done is all in your mind. The reflection is not going to affect you because it is asat and you are sat. Since all of the elements are asat, they cannot do anything to Atma, which is Sat. A problem may arise here, however, since a non existent thing also cannot be destroyed by anyone. A problem may arise here, however, since a non existent thing also cannot be destroyed by anyone. Perhaps this Atma is non existent, zero, Sunya. In the expression Vandya Putra, the son of woman who cannot give birth to a child. The son cannot be destroyed by anything. We are not talking here of an adopted son or surrogate son, but of a non existent son. There is no son to be burnt or drowned. Similarly, perhaps there is no Atma. This doubt could arise, but the next verse, along with Shankara's commentary, put this doubt to rest. So I went really fast here. So we read about self-evident Atma, nature of destruction, five-element model of the world. Atma is indestructible. So please let me know anything to be repeated. And then we have like 15 minutes, for, I wouldn't say 15 minutes, 10 minutes maybe to do Manana.
Order of reality is different. So the forms and that whatever is existing, limbs and what means that form is there, it is destructible. But Atma has a different reality. So it doesn't, you cannot destroy it.
Yeah, like they, they went really methodic.
Cannot
Yeah,
be destroyed.
yeah, you're right. So it's the same order of reality, meaning like somebody with the physical body, right? And that person can affect another person or some other weapon, with they can hurt themselves or they hurt somebody else. So with the same order of reality, whereas Atma has no form, like space has no form. So that's the reason it cannot be polluted. Like they said, the space cannot be polluted. So Atma is self-evident and it's self-existent, meaning uh, it's not depending on anyone. for its existence. It's a sat, and it
Example
is
of pot is given, how the mud is dependent on the particles and all, on atoms.
right. That's yeah. So the
But it depends on only consciousness. Its consciousness doesn't depends on anything, so it's a different reality. It is.
right. It's
That's
I wouldn't say it's, yeah, in the sense like the form, yeah, consciousness has no form, but everything else you see in the world or in the universe has this is has form, right? Or some kind of object. So the sat becomes that self-existent subject, which is the reason for everything else. So when the object, so when you objectify everything, and that object, doesn't have the same. Uh, I mean, you cannot negate Atma, first of all. Second thing is, it said it's indestructible. You can object so because Atma objectifies everything. So the one which is objectify, meaning like that one objectify, they objectify because everything else shines
not.
after Atma. Mm. So then it doesn't, uh, the object of consciousness cannot destroy the consciousness. It's object of consciousness going to destroy consciousness. So you cannot destroy like your own consciousness, like because it has no particular form. Because remember when we said it's a same order of reality, so it's not an object. Atma is not an object, so another object is not going to destroy the Atma.
That's why it is said Shastra, Astra, nothing will kill, because it has a different reality.
Right, Astra Shastra, right? Like
Hmm.
how these five elements are again, he brings out all the elements which they from Prithvi you can make weapons, the earth metals and all that, and the fire can melt and things like that, you know. And the water also, people can drown in it and they get destroyed, or even when it's flooded, a lot of things get destroyed. So that's how the water and the hot air, they gave all that example. And then again, how these five elements mm, model of the world they're trying to, where you talked about the same order of reality only can destroy each other, but they are different order of reality, they won't. Like for example, a shadow of a tree cannot destroy the other tree. Same way, like the reflection of you in the mirror cannot destroy that person. Like it's only your reflection. But so that if it's a different, like that kind of thing, like a reflection, shadow, the things cannot destroy. And then the nature of destruction could be uh, the nature of what is this one called? Nature of destruction. Uh, except for the space, right? All the other ones are changing to another form, one way or the other, right? Like when you said um, two, like hydrogen atom and the oxygen atom to combine together, they form the water, and the water get evaporated into vapor. The heat goes up. Same way, when the temperature goes down, it becomes ice. So it doesn't in the same form. It
Space,
take another
space
form. Yeah.
doesn't get affected by anything. Like
Mm,
hydrogen and oxygen is combined, then it will form the water. Means in other four, there is always a changes, but in
mm,
space cannot be changed.
right. So this Atma doesn't have any of that, right? It doesn't have the structure, doesn't have any attributes, and doesn't have any like limbs, meaning like arm, leg, and everything else, right? So it's only pure consciousness, but it is the one. The consciousness is the one is the cause for everything else. Cannot be destroyed by weapon or instrument of destruction or anything, because not available for objectification. So that is the key point here. Therefore, this consciousness, the Atma, cannot be destroyed by any weapon or any other instrument of destruction, because it's not available for objectification. Nothing can get at this Atma. Furthermore, nothing else belongs to the same order of reality. So, Atma and Jiva is the same, he said, right? So, that one consciousness. So, there's nothing else is out there as the same like the Atma. And they go on describing the Atma is self evident, and everything else is evident to it, means like everything else is, you can see that witness to everything that's happening around, and all the objects in the whole world is evident to the Atma. Yeah, please share your thought also. Like, so the gist of it is nothing can destroy it, and how it cannot be destroyed, because it's one consciousness and it doesn't have the attributes and all that stuff. Just as it is self-existent, there is non-existent also. The woman, the child of a barren woman, doesn't exist. So where the for that child there is no Atma exist. So that's non-existent Atma there. So that is going to be described in the following verse. Okay, so you guys go on. I'm going to stop sharing here and see I can try to get that um, meditation. Do you guys want to do meditation today, or we just discuss it?
We'll meditate today. Karthik
We'll
would.
do them. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So please share in the meantime your thoughts. I'm going to just see I can. Oh,
comfortably.
ॐ लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम तत्सत श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु।
इसलिए इस रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधा रखे. Let's keep our spine erect. Let's take our attention to the top of the head. And become aware of the vast sky above the head. सिर के ऊपर विशाल गगन है. उस गगन से तरंग हमारे सिर पर पड़ रही है इस वक्त. इसका स्मरण करें. Become aware of the vast space and cosmic rays from the universe falling on your head right this moment. मुस्कुराते मुस्कुराते सारे तरंगों को अपने भीतर स्वीकार करें. With a smile, receive all the vibrations, cosmic vibrations, into your body. Vedic chantings are there, are happening. All other sounds are there. Just welcome them all. मंत्र घोष भी चल रहे कहीं दूर. पूरे वातावरण में पवित्र तरंग उठ रहे हैं. इन सब को आप स्वीकार करें अपने भीतर. Let's also chant Om. हम भी 3 बार ओंकार का ध्वनि करते हैं. गहरी सांस लीजिए. रिलैक्स योर होल बॉडी. पूरे शरीर को ढीला छोड़ दें. Let every cell in our body start to relax, expand, and smile. ओम शांति शांति शांति। और धीरे धीरे आंखें खोल सकते हो। Slowly and gradually you may open your eyes.
Make a way. Thank you.
धन्यवाद डॉक्टर मेरा.
I hope it was fast, but then maybe you can review this tomorrow and do Manana a little bit before we go to the next one. Yeah.